On this hunt, I'm down in Kentucky with my pal Kevin Murphy.
Kind of like being Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer.
It is, man.
We're cruising the arteries of America, the Ohio and Mississippi, for that southern staple, catfish. But there are no fishing poles on this trip. Instead, we're using methods with names that wouldn't mean a thing to a majority of our fellow Americans. Limb lining, trot lining, and jugging. It's hard to say those words without smelling hot fry grease. I'm Stephen Rinella. To me, hunting isn't only about the pursuit of an animal. It's about who we are and what we're made of. I live to hunt and hunt to live. I am a meat eater. When I'm hanging around with my favorite Kentuckian, Kevin Murphy, he calls it hunting and fishing boot camp. We hit it hard, doing all manner of activities. Cruising swamps for bullfrogs, tangling with a big old snapping turtle, and freezing plenty of meals for later use. So when he invited me to Western Kentucky to fish the Mississippi and Ohio rivers, I could not say no. Kevin has been plying the waters of the Mississippi and its major tributaries for his entire life. This is hardcore catfish country, and we're here to catch them. What's especially exciting is that Kevin is going to show me some alternatives to traditional rod and reel fishing: jug fishing, limb lining, and trot lining. To that end, Kevin has introduced me to his buddy Leon Dunaway. Whereas Kevin is one of the last of the outdoor generalists, chasing anything, anyway, anywhere, Leon exemplifies the specialist. He fishes just one kind of fish, blue catfish, and he does it just one way, with jugs.
Just throw them out.
Throw them out. Okay.
Ease them over the side. There you go.
At first glance, it's a simple concept. Hang a line from a floating jug, in this case, a pair of 2-liter pop bottles fused together with silicone. Weight the line and pierce some bait on a hook. Then toss it in the river.
Got 48 sets in the water, 48 opportunities.
It sounds simple, but in reality, it takes a lifetime of practice to master the nuances of blue cat behavior. Where they are, where they're going, when they like to eat, and what they like to eat.
We're fishing now, Steve.
So they're just now approaching where you want to be?
I'm aiming for a spot, yeah.
Yeah. So they're like even up near the surface feeding around?
That's what blues do. They feed up. And yeah, I put a weigh in up here trying to hit that spot right down yonder.
Well, how do you know that there's not a fish right now hauling off one of those?
Well, he'll stand that jug up, and it'll
So it functions like a tip-up.
if he's big enough to go after, you'll know it.
There are 3 species of catfish in these waters: flatheads, channels, and the mysterious blue cats. Leon's method is very targeted.
You just catch blues.
Just blues. That's all I fish for. That's all.
I mean, you're not like picking up all kinds of other
No.
species of fish.
No, that very seldom. I may catch 1 flathead or maybe 2 a year, and may catch a few, 4 or 5 channel cat a year. Very few.
See, there's one jumped up and zinging all
Yeah,
over
we
the
got
place.
fish there.
No, he's a small one. We gotta start somewhere.
That's the first blue cat I've ever laid hands on right there.
Right?
Yep, we never had them anywhere I live. So that's a small blue cat.
Yeah.
Once we grabbed that first one, jugs started popping.
That's a pretty good fish out there.
That ain't bad. So you've handled a few of those, huh, Leon?
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one.
Hey, there's a good one there.
That's a good one?
That's a good fish there. Yeah.
What's it doing that makes you think it's a good fish?
I think the way he's handling that jug.
Yeah, he's up on the buoy. Man, that's a good-looking fish, man.
Pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's one of the more attractive catfishes I've
Pretty,
seen.
aren't they?
I'll tell you, Leon, my whole life, I've heard people mention jug fishing. I had no idea. Do a lot of guys go to this level and run this many?
No. There's some, but not many run this many jugs.
Are you kind of known around the river for jugging? Yeah.
Pretty much.
Talking to you.
Look at that.
Let me go, let me go.
Pretty, ain't it? When they're moving, looking for a place to feed, I guess, they'll hit, I mean, just knock it out and then get off. You know, they won't take it. But they're feeding today. They're all hooked good. We ain't missed a fish, I don't believe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Look at that guy. What's that one weigh?
14.
Look good.
Jug fishing.
Kentucky style.
We've had some pretty good trips, ain't we, Kevin?
Yes, we have.
After our morning of jugging, we're back in Leon's garage to process our catch.
23. Looks like one gave birth in here. 24. Yeah. Well.
Oh, yeah.
There's literally a wheelbarrow full of fish. I'm interested to see what a guy who's been cleaning catfish for long as I've been alive can do with a fillet knife. Growing up in Michigan, we had ready access to salmon, walleye, yellow perch, and smelt, so we could afford to be a little stuck up about our fish preferences. We didn't outright discriminate against catfish, but we regarded them as bottom feeders and would accept them only somewhat reluctantly as bycatch. The most common complaint was that the fish was muddy tasting, which I'm about to learn is only the fault of poor handling practices.
Take the belly flap.
Man, that is gorgeous meat. So you're working around the ribs now. So you leave that belly meat right on there.
Oh, yeah.
But you like to get way up into the head.
Yeah. There's a fillet.
Now, what's your thinking on not doing the belly meat? Because it's got the fat, like too much of the fat in it, or are you worried about the heavy metals, or
On the
what?
inside of that, it's got a little black
Yep.
skin in there.
Yeah.
And
That tastes off.
If there's any mercury, they say that's where it collects at. And it's a lot of work for no more than you're getting. And the belly flaps are tough.
Is that right?
They're not as good at eating. My kids would fuss at me if I claim one of them.
So that's totally boneless right there, nothing.
Yeah, there's no bone at all in that. That is ready to chill out now.
He's gonna relax now. Then you do your final trim.
Yeah, we'll cool them down. We'll throw them in that bucket
Oh, I see. Firm them up.
and ice them down and firm them up.
Once they're nice and firm, Leon trims the fillets very carefully of all fat.
Now, you're saying if you were to fry this now, you'd have some of that muddy taste.
Oh, you
off.
don't want that.
Yeah. You have that muddy taste.
You don't
complain
want
about
that.
Off that stuff.
You don't want that in your mouth.
Then slices them into serving-sized pieces with sharp edges that will crisp nicely when fried. Finally, the pieces are rinsed for a full hour to remove any remaining fat. Back on the water, Kevin wants to show me 2 more catfish catching techniques.
We're gonna be in the Ohio this morning, Steve. This is the main channel of the Ohio is on the left side of Hurricane Island.
Oh, okay.
Hurricane Island's like 1,600 acres. And what we're gonna try to do is go up the left side of Hurricane and put out our limb lines and then set a trot line or 2 out.
The first is what's known as a limb line. Simply tie a baited line to a green limber tree limb hanging low over the water. The tree acts as your rod, setting the hook and providing the flex. In all the places where I've lived, which have all been up north, this method of fishing is strictly forbidden. So while I've heard about guys who fish this way, I've never been able to do it myself.
That's my first ever limb line, Kevin.
First ever, all right.
I like it. what's the ideal depth for limb line and flatheads, like the ideal water depth, you know?
You know, I like to have about at least 3 to 5 feet.
Of
that
water.
way, of water, and that way if the river was to drop off on you, you still have a line in the water. They can come out of the deep water into the shallow to feed.
Now, do you get channels in these too, or just flat?
There's channels in here, yes.
But you get them on a limb line?
We'll catch some on a limb line, yes.
But you're primarily targeting flat.
We are targeting flat with live bait. We may put a few deer hearts on them here in a minute, and then we can pretty much target the blues and the channels in.
Where's this deer hail from?
Right here.
Oh, good.
My deer stand's probably a half mile as a crow flies.
We set a dozen or so, and then we go to stretch out a trot line. Kevin's trot lines are built with 50 leaders and hooks that are evenly spaced along a main line that gets stretched between 2 anchoring points. The whole thing sits in the water overnight. With any luck, it'll have a few fish hanging from it the next day. As we're wrapping things up and getting ready to head back, something entirely unexpected happens.
Paddlefish.
We notice a gravely wounded paddlefish struggling to swim as it cartwheels along the river's surface. It's perfectly legal to bowfish for these strange creatures. You're allowed 2 a day, so we make the best of the fish's bad situation and haul it aboard.
Yeah, he got hit by a prop. This will be good to eat.
Yep, got it.
Look, see how he's got that big long tag on that gill cover? When he got hit by that boat prop,
Cut that one off, didn't it?
cut that off, gashed him in the head.
You know, they're filter feeders, and they feed up close to the top of the water, and they swell up, kind of like a whale right there. So
got clipped?
just up feeding and got clipped by
I wonder how long ago he might have got clipped.
You know, it looks fairly fresh. No bones in it, all cartilage.
Yeah,
Got
stake him
one
out.
note cord that runs to the end, and the way that we used to clean them, we would wring the tail and twist it, cut the head off, and then pull that cord out of it. I don't know if you've ever, and then you can just start staking it.
That's interesting, man. Too bad he got run over. But make the most out of his misfortunes, I guess.
Tough skin.
While our trot lines are soaking, Kevin shows me what to do with the rare treat that we stumbled across.
Man, that's such an interesting meat, you know.
Yep, not a single bone in there. Note cord. This baby was swimming around with the dinosaurs. We're gonna take the head off of it next. All right, we're gonna wring the tail now.
Okay.
Just the cord.
Yeah. So wild, man.
It's the backbone, the main structure of the paddlefish. That's what controls the thing.
Wow. I can feel it separating out. There it goes. There she vanished. Man, that is one of the more weirdest things I've ever seen in my life.
Different.
Look at that. That's really something.
How thick you like your spoonbill steaks? About,
Yeah.
about an
Yeah.
inch.
Man, what an unusual fish. It's just like shark, though. That is something.
The next morning, we're back on the river to see what our limb lines picked up.
I think we got a fish here.
It's going the wrong way, isn't it?
I think we got a fish. What we got?
The channel.
Channel. All right, good.
Limb lining with Kevin Murphy.
Here we go. Right, we're off the egg.
No bait. There's a fish.
Fish on this one.
Yep.
Fiddler.
Fiddler cat.
Deal.
Not a great haul, but not bad either. Now it's on to the trot line.
Looks pretty taut, Steve.
Yeah, it's bouncy. I see fish.
The first trot line fish.
Get him up in the boat.
Another channel.
Three fish at the mulberry tree.
Yep. What we were going for. Righty. Here's the blue. Oh, blue boy. Well, what do you think about trot lining, Steve?
It's about like my experience in set lining. Lots of tangles, lots of wondering what happened. There he is. Yeah, Kevin. You did it, Kevin.
Nice one.
Very nice. There we go. What do you think?
Pretty good haul.
One blue and all channels.
Channels. That's a big channel.
That's a big channel around here, yeah.
Or, you know, a good sized channel.
Yeah. So you guys call that a fiddler?
Yes, yeah. This would be a fiddler catfish. When they're that small, we would just put them in there and say, hey, that's a fiddler.
Meaning a whole fry?
A whole fry.
Where's it
yeah.
come from?
Just local terminology. That's the way I was brought up. This is a fiddler.
With more than a meal's worth of fish, we head back upstream to Kevin's go-to lunch spot. Our main course is still flopping in the cooler.
Probably the first time I came over here was about 1992.
The first time you came to this restaurant? That was the year I graduated high school. Man, I like how as soon as you swing downriver to the restaurant, you can smell that fry grease,
You can smell
man.
what's on the menu, can't you?
Just over the river in Elizabethtown, Illinois, is E-Town, a floating restaurant renowned for its freshly caught river catfish. The owner purchases catfish from local commercial fishermen who work this same stretch of river. The cook has agreed to prepare our own catch for us. Mike Comerick is the restaurant's resident filleter, and he sidelines as a commercial catfisherman himself. Mike's gonna cut and trim our fish to conform to the restaurant's rigid standards.
Just do it as fast as you do it if you were doing 100 and you were on your 10th one.
You got to remember, this is my first fish of the day.
Yep, no, let's do it.
So I'm just a little bit slower on the first one.
There you go.
I come right there.
Okay.
I come right past that last rib.
So you don't leave any little, you're not leaving any little strip of skin up in there.
No, I'm not leaving anything there.
Over the last 10 years, Mike has processed upwards of 1 million pounds of channels, flats, and blues. If you fish catfish, pay careful attention to everything this man does, especially when it comes to trimming his fillets.
I pull the hide to me. So then what I have to do, I'll trim that off, bring it back over. That right there is nothing but fat.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I do see it now. It's like,
And take that all off.
and you're just doing that by feel when you come down
Yes.
through there. Damn, that's a nice looking fillet, man. I like that.
Then I take it and I'll cut it.
Oh, so you cut them for the fryer right out here.
Yes, everything takes place right here.
Looks beautiful now, man.
Once the fish are cleaned and portioned, the pieces are coated in E-Town's signature breading, then they're given a quick hot oil bath. Add to that some fries and slaw, and you've got yourself a rounded, satisfying, deeply American meal.
There it is.
Man.
That's fresh fish, Kevin Murphy.
Well, we started out in Kentucky, ended up in Illinois with a plate full of fish.
I'll never look at catfish cleaning the same way, man. I realize, like, I've been messing it up by not trimming it right. Like I said, man, growing up, we were like, catfish is nasty.
You can take a not-so-good fish and make some of the best fish in the world out of this thing.
Yeah, truly amazing. The difference it makes to trim that fillet right, man.
You're exactly right.
Eating these fish, I consider the real possibility that they once swam right beneath the floating structure that we're sitting on. There's a beauty at once savage and noble in eating something that you caught yourself right where you caught it. You cannot escape the immediacy, just as you cannot escape the relevancy of the land and water to our well-being. Catfish is simple food for sure. It's cheap, it's abundant, it's pretty much everywhere. Makes you realize just how lucky we are.